Hey everybody, today I'm going to be cooking up some venison pulled shanks and gravy in the Instapot, serving them up over mashed potatoes with some vegetables. Stick around for this week's episode of DC Outdoors. Hi, my name is Dan and welcome to DC Outdoors. If this is your first time here and you like outdoor adventure videos, gear reviews, and other outdoor related stuff, well please get started by clicking the like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons so you don't miss anything. Well, let's get cooking. All right, well, before we get going here in the kitchen, I want to just talk a little bit about venison shanks. Historically in the past, I spent a lot of time boning out shanks, and that meat would end up in the grinds pile to be made into hamburger, or, cubing it off of there and making into stew. But what I've learned over the years is that cooking these things low and slow, braising them in the oven or cooking them in the slow cooker or Instapot under the slow cooker function just breaks down those venison shanks and breaks down all the connective tissue into just such a delicious, delicious piece of meat. We've cooked these things up and then pulled the meat and served it over tacos before in the past, or put them up on buns to make like pulled venison shank sandwiches. This time I'm going to be cooking it in kind of like a gravy mix, which we're going to be dishing up and serving over mashed potatoes. Well, let's get to work.
Here are the ingredients that you'll need to cook this dish. 2 pounds of venison shanks, 2 onions sliced, 4 cloves of garlic chopped, 1 package of brown gravy mix, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 1 tablespoon of Tabasco, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 4 cups of beef broth, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I like to begin by applying a thin coat of olive oil, salt, and pepper to the shanks. Next, heat the oil in the frying pan over high heat or the simmer setting of your Instapot. Place the shanks in the oil and fry on all sides until well browned. Slice your onions and place them in the crock pot, Instapot, or Dutch ovens. Add your chopped garlic. Place your brown meat on top of the onions. Mix your broth, gravy mix, and seasoning together and pour over the meat. Cook on the low, slow cooker setting of your Instapot or slow cooker. If braising in the oven, place in a baking dish or Dutch oven, cover tightly, and bake at 250 for 6 hours.
All right, that was fantastic. So we cooked that for about 8 hours. I noticed at around the 6 hour mark that it was still not quite cooked enough, so I did switch it to pressure cook mode and finished it off on there. When it was near time, I peeled the main bones off of the meat and let it cook for maybe about another 10 minutes. Then I removed the meat. I added a little mixture there of some water with cornstarch into the gravy to thicken it up, and then we served the gravy over top of the pulled shanks with the mashed potatoes and some green beans there on the side. That was absolutely delicious. We ended up scooping some horseradish on top of the gravy and the meat, and man, it was so good. We had really enjoyed it, and even the kids went back for seconds, thirds, and fourths. So that was definitely a really good home run meal that we will for sure make again. So I hope that this inspires you to do something a little bit different with your wild game shanks. You don't just have to bone them out. You don't just have to make hamburger out of them. You don't just have to throw them in the grinds pile or in the stew pile. Get creative. Pulled shank meat, cooking it low and slow, braising it, cooking in the slow cooker or the Instapot, definitely the way to go, and super delicious. So overall, we really, really loved it. Thought that was an absolutely awesome meal. If you made it this far, I want to thank you so much for watching. If this was your first time here, though, and you like outdoor adventure videos, gear reviews, and other outdoor related stuff, well, please hit that subscribe, like, and bell notification button so that you don't miss anything. Until next time, we'll see you outdoors.